It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Chicago Cubs. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Thursday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Cubs meeting in a 4-game series. They've already played 3 in Chicago, and the Cubs nailed the Dodgers 2 of the 3. Tonight, Clayton Kershaw going for his 9th win. He has a record of 8-4, and he'll go up against right-hander Randy Wells, who has a record of 4-6. The Dodgers have had some success against the Cubs here at Dodger Stadium. They've beaten them 5 out of 7, but the Cubs arrive on the crest of a 3-game winning streak. They swept 3 in Arizona. So the Dodgers and the Cubs, first game of a 4-game series. We'll get to it after this.
For the All-Star break here on Prime Ticket. We're going to get to our Lexus Pursuing Perfection. For that, we're going to focus on the 2 All-Stars for the Los Angeles Dodgers and what a first half it has been for Andre Ethier and Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, the fans got it right here. The 2 All-Stars are the guys that deserve to go. Maybe Hung-Chi Kuo and maybe Rafael Furcal could have got some more consideration. Kuo was a manager's pick, so he didn't get on there. But fans did a good job voting this year, I think. Broxton doing what he does, and you got to think that Ethier's numbers would have been even better if he didn't get hurt for 15 days.
You know, the American League, Steve, has dominated the All-Star game, especially since the tie game in 2002. So now, you know, the winner of the game gets home field advantage in the World Series. So that's our poll question at foxsportswest.com. You can vote throughout the game. Should the winner of the All-Star game determine home field advantage? I know you'll have to borrow my computer to vote. Which way are you going?
I say yes, because that's the system that they have set up right now. So that's, why argue with what's going on? Everybody knows it going in. It's not arbitrary. I think there probably could be a system, but everyone that complains about what's going on right now doesn't come up with a better idea. So no one has a better idea right now, so you go with what's in place. One idea that I did hear was, how about overall record in interleague play? If the American leagues win more games, then they have the home field advantage. If the National League wins more games in interleague play, then
the Dodgers will never get home field advantage, basically.
Well, no, I'm talking about overall, all the teams, American League versus National
I think
League.
I understand what you're saying. All right, when we come back, Dodger baseball taking on the Cubs. Vince Scully has the call for you. We'll see you after the game.
Why, your Southern California Dodger Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by your Southern California Hyundai dealers. Want more MPG? Hyundai has it. By Shakey's, who holds the record for most innings pitched in a major league season. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia. By CarMax, now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. By AT&T, TV, high-speed internet, home phone, and wireless. Visit att.com or call 1-800-PIC-ATT for details. And by K-Swiss. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Thursday evening to you, wherever you may be. The Cubs are in town. Chicago arrives, having just swept a 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now engaging the Dodgers in Game 1 of a 4-game series. Right now, they hold a 2-1 edge against the Dodgers, 3 games having played earlier this year in Wrigley Field. For the visiting Cubs, 10.5 games behind Cincinnati. Here's how they stack up. Ryan Theriot will be at second base and Marlon Byrd in center field. Derek Lee at first. Aramis Ramirez will be at third. Giovanni Soto is the catcher. Alfonso Soriano in left field. Xavier Nady in right. Starlin Castro will be at shortstop, and Randy Wells on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, the 22-year-old left-hander Clayton Kershaw. Last time out, he was a little ragged, but he did go 5 2/3 scoreless innings, struck out 8, and picked up a victory. It was just the fact that his pitch count started to get out of hand. Against the Cubs, he is 0-1. He lost back on May the 25th, and what a game. He allowed just 1 run, no earned runs in that game, and took the defeat. The Dodgers lost 3-0. So Clayton Kershaw, who ranks 4th in the league. The opposition is hitting only .206 against him. He also is averaging a little more than 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. 104 innings, 116 strikeouts. The Dodgers with the leather back of him, Paul, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. The infield of Blake and Furcal, DeWitt and Loney, and the battery, Russell Martin, will be handling Clayton Kershaw. For the Cubs, Ryan Theriot, the second baseman, will be coming up. Theriot with a little 5-game hitting streak, batting .279. He has 18 runs batted in. Leadoff hitter, no particular power. In fact, his last home run was last year in June. And the first pitch to Ryan, a little low, ball 1-0. Theriot spells that name Theriot, and with that silent T, you know he's got to be from Louisiana. The strike one pitch is fouled back, 0-2. Ryan is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Went to school at LSU. A dedicated child. When he was about 4, he said he remembers putting eye black on, jerking up his pants, and he'd be the bat boy for his big brother's teams. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, very high, ball 1-2. So Theriot, 5'11", 180. Originally signed by the Cubs back in 2001. And the next pitch of the right-hand hitter, breaking ball swung on and missed, and down he goes. A big overhand breaking ball that puts him on the shelf, and 1 away. The temperature a little bit on the cool side, considering we're into July. 64 degrees, and with 1 out, the batter is Marlon Byrd. Marlon Byrd, right-hand hitter, hitting .306, 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in. And I would think of all the players on the field, Marlon Byrd is the most thankful to be there. He hits one up the middle, behind the bag goes DeWitt. A diving stop, but his off-balance throw pulls Loney off the bag. A typical smothering great try by Blake DeWitt, but it's an infield single for Marlon Byrd. The reason we feel that Marlon Byrd, of all the players, has to be thankful to be on the field. Not too many years ago, when he was a sophomore in junior college, he suffered a calf injury, had an infection, and came this close to having his right leg amputated. So he's at first, full of beans, and Derek Lee, hitting .233, checks in. 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Kershaw looks at first, comes to his hitter high, ball 1-0, the count to Derek Lee. Derek, among other things, well, he was a batting champion in 2005. He's a big fella, 6'5", 245. Had a bad time here in 2006. The 1-0 pitch, a shot back off the body of Kershaw, deflected to Blake, who throws to first to get him. So Clayton Kershaw took a hot one to the body. However, he's grinning at the plate umpire, Brian Runge. But there are no smiles on the faces of the Dodgers going to the mound and anxiously asking if he's okay. Lee, a shot. It looked like it got him in the back of the right leg because he had turned his body in his follow-through, and it caromed over to Casey Blake. So it is a 1-5-3 putout. Down to second goes Marlon Byrd. And they check on Kershaw. As we said, since he turned in his follow-through, he took it on the back of the leg. If I had to guess, it would either be just above the back of the right knee. So they're going to let him make a practice pitch or two. And he's out of a stretch. In a minute, Aramis Ramirez will be coming up. So Kershaw makes one and convinces everybody one pitch is all he needs. So here comes Ramirez. So Kershaw getting the difficult out. Actually, he gets an assist the painful way. And Marlon Byrd at second. 2 down, first inning, no score. Marlon Byrd out there at second base. Came into the game hitting .353 against the Dodgers. So he wears them out. Now Ramirez hitting only .189. That is really a shock. 9 home runs, 30 runs batted in. He takes a breaking ball low, ball 1. I mean, you're looking at a fellow who hit over 300 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He was originally signed by the Pirates, but he's been a fixture since '04 with the Cubs. Power? You betcha. He's hit as many as 38. Another breaking ball, and that one's in for a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Brian Runge is the plate umpire, with Hunter Wendelstedt, Mike Winters, and Jerry Lane working the lanes. Ramirez, who grew up hoping to be another Michael Jordan, but he's only 6'1". Fastball is whacked to left field down the line. All eyes as it goes in the corner, and we're watching Lane. Foul. Though Ramirez with his 9 home runs shows you the power that gave him 38 home runs, 36 home runs, 34 home runs. He's been on a tear since '01 when he came up with the Pirates. 258 home runs in his career. 1-2 the count. Marlon Byrd at second. 2 out, first inning, no score. Kershaw again out of his stretch. Here he comes. Fast one. Swung on, missed at the plate. The tag, and that will be that. So Ramirez strikes out. Kershaw picks up 2 of them. And at the end of half an inning, Cubs nothing, Dodgers coming up. And retires the side in the first inning, but not in order. Remember, he has now failed to retire the side in order in the first inning in all 17 starts this year. You may remember he made a first inning start against the Braves, struck out the side, but there was a pass ball, and he had to face 4. Well, the infield single by Byrd extended the inning. So his streak continues, and now we'll take a look at the lineup, trying to produce some runs for him. And it will be Rafael Furcal. No surprises in the lineup. Furcal, Kemp, and Ethier. Loney, Blake, and Paul. Martin, DeWitt, and Kershaw. On the mound is Randy Wells. Right-hander makes his first pitch to Furcal outside. Ball 1, 1-0. Randy Wells, 6'5", 230, out of Belleville, Illinois. The 1-0 pitch is high. Belleville, well, you might remember, has produced, among others, great tennis player Jimmy Connors and the Masters Golf Tournament champion Bob Goldie. The 2-0 pitch on the way is wailed on into right center field. That's going to go to the wall. And Furcal is on his way into second base with a leadoff double. So Rafael Furcal had a 10-game hitting streak snap last night, a 12-game run-scoring streak snap, but he comes right back with a long double here in the first inning. So the Dodgers with a runner at second and nobody out. Kemp, Ethier, and Loney coming up. Since the 24th of June, Rafael Furcal is hitting about .440 or very close to it. So Rafael at second, and Matt Kemp trying to move him around. Wells out of his stretch. Right-hander looks back at Furcal, works Kemp inside. Ball one. 1-0 the count to Matt, hitting .266, 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in. Randy Wells struggling with men on base. This time a breaking ball swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. The opposition is hitting .331 when he's pitching out of his stretch. That is really troublesome. Although, let's face it, he had a no-hitter into the 7th inning last time out against Cincinnati. The 1-1 pitch, slider for a strike. Kemp quit on it, and it jumped in there. 1-2. Randy is 4-6, and to show you how unlucky he's been, he is 0-2 in his career against the Dodgers. Twice last year he started. Once he went 7 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, and lost 2-1. Kemp takes low. The second time he pitched here at Dodger Stadium, he allowed 2 runs, none earned, and lost 2-1. So he is 0-2 in his career against the Dodgers, and he has pitched brilliantly each game. 2-2 pitch coming up. Randy delivers, and it is low, pushed out in front of the plate by Soto. 3-2 the count. For Randy Wells, a lot of athletic genes. His dad was an all-state quarterback in high school and a defensive back at Kansas State. His older brother was a star in football and basketball, and in baseball. His older brother reached AAA with Colorado as an outfielder first baseman. That would mean Colorado Springs. And he also punted for the University of Illinois football team. So Randy, 28 years old, the end of August, and the right-hander delivers, and Kemp pulls away. It's low and inside. Ball 4. For Lou Piniella, the big question is, will this be his last year? Piniella saying that if no matter what happens, if I decide to leave the Cubs, I'm done. I will not manage anybody else. And Joe Torre earlier in May said, oh, I know Lou. He's going to manage. And Piniella said, no, Joe's just being nice. If I don't stay here, I don't manage anymore. So we'll see. 2 on, nobody out. Bottom of the first inning, and Andre Ethier checking in. Ethier waiting. Wells in a jam. And the right-hander ready and delivers. Ground ball hard to Derek Lee. He goes to short for 1. Back to the pitcher covering. Double play. On that play, Rafael Furcal moves to third. Wow, what a play by Derek Lee, and he made it look easy. I mean, Ethier really stung the ball, and Lee just turned on it, got it back to Castro, and he returned it to Wells. So it's a 3-6-1 double play. And with 2 down for call at third, and the batter will be James Loney. So Derek Lee with 3 gold gloves shows you why on that play. And with 2 down, here's Loney hitting .304, 5 home runs, 57 runs batted in. Wells' first pitch is low, ball 1. With a runner at third, checking on Wells, he has 1 wild pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Furcal walking down the line from third with 2 out. Loney, meanwhile, takes off the plate. On deck, Casey Blake. Couple of final scores. The Giants swept a 4-game series from the Milwaukee Brewers, beat them 9-3. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. That's taken high, ball 3. Today, Aubrey Huff, Andres Torres, and Buster Posey all homered in that 9-3 win. Giants are on an 11-game road trip, and they're 5-3. Tomorrow night, they will face Steven Strasburg in Washington. 3-0 pitch to Loney is taken for a strike, 3-1. The surprising Rockies. We say surprising because they've been pretty well banged up. And they surprised everybody by nailing the Cardinals again. 4-2. The pitch to Loney is taken for another strike. Ubaldo Jimenez outdueled Chris Carpenter. Jimenez now is 15-1 at the All-Star break. Rockies sweeping 3 from the Cardinals. The 3-2 pitch on the way to Loney. Line drive over the glove of Terrio for a base hit into right field, and Rafael Furcal scores. So Loney does it again. The reliable first baseman drives in another run. Terrio went up the ladder and missed by inches of stealing a base hit and a run batted in. But James drilled it. Terrio went up, came down empty, and the Dodgers pick up the run. And the batter now will be Casey Blake. Talking about the Rockies, as the first pitch to Blake is fouled away. 0-1 to Casey. The Padres are heading to Coors Field. They'll be there for the weekend. The last we saw, the Padres were winning handily against Washington. 7-1, and we now get the word it's a final score. Matt Latos pitched a 5-hit shutout. He even hit his first major league home run. They had other home runs by Denorfia, Headley, and Hairston. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Casey Blake. So the Padres win, the Rockies win, and all the pressure is on the Dodgers to do the same against the Cubs. The 1-1 pitch on the way, and Blake takes, and that's low. 2-1 the count. Giants trying to get something started, but even though they swept, they are still 5 back of San Diego. Giants have won 4 in a row. 2-1 the count. It's 1-0 Dodgers first inning. Casey hitting .258. Swings, ground ball to short. Castro goes the long way in time for the out. But the Dodgers, despite the double play, pick up a run thanks to James Loney's base hit to right field. And at the end of an inning, 1-0 Dodgers. With 2 out, and Loney singles to right to get him home, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. Now Giovanni Soto, Alfonso Soriano, and Xavier Nady in that order. Soto from Puerto Rico, the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Right-hand hitting catcher, takes low, ball 1. Soto hitting .278, 8 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Kershaw looks down the barrel to get a sign, and the 1-0 pitch on the way. Off speed, high and away, ball 2. Soto is 6'1", 205-pounder. He'll be 27. From San Juan. Went to the American Military Academy in Puerto Rico and takes a strike, and the count 2-1. They tell you that Soto began playing baseball at age 3, and by the time he was 12, his dad would not allow him to do anything else. Ground ball up the middle, behind the bag is DeWitt, and throws him out. His father said, "I just know you're going to be a major leaguer." So the faith of our fathers, and Giovanni Soto certainly made him proud, not only arriving, but becoming Rookie of the Year. So 1 away, DeWitt prowling behind second base to make another nice play. And now Alfonso Soriano hitting .275, 14 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Right-hand batter swings and hits a towering drive to left field. No doubt about it. That thing is out of sight. Whoa. Soriano hits his 15th home run. No surprise. A few years ago, he hit 46 home runs. So he really shakes up the Dodgers with that blast. And just like that, we have a 1-1 tie. Soriano hits it way back into the bullpen. He jumped all over that. He's 6'1", 185, and like a coiled spring, he just let loose. And he knew as soon as he hit it, that was out of here. Hitting the ivy-covered back wall, not of Wrigley Field, but of the Dodger bullpen. And the next pitch now to Xavier Nady, in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Alfonso Soriano, remember? He signed an 8-year deal for $136 million because they saw him swing like that. The pitch to Nady misses, and we have 1 ball, 1 strike. He's from that great little town in the Dominican, San Pedro de Macorís. Remember the Yankees finally signed him out of Japan? Here's the 1-1 pitch. Kershaw works it low and inside, ball 2, 2-1 the count. For Clayton Kershaw, the 7th home run he's allowed this year. So Xavier Nady waiting on a 2-1 pitch, and he swings, doesn't get it. 2-2 the count. Nady went to school up north at UC Berkeley. Born in Carmel, still lives up north. The 2-2 pitch on the way, check swing, and down he goes. So the curveball takes care of Nady. That is the 3rd strikeout for Clayton Kershaw. Hard breaking ball. And the batter now, Starlin Castro. That first name, Starlin. Can you just imagine if he has a big year? I mean, in Chicago, he would be Darlin Starlin. You can bet on that. The pitch is low, and then just seemed to catch the corner for a strike. Castro quit on it, but pays the price. 0-1 the count to Castro. The strike 1 pitch, check swing. They're going to look. Swing, says Hunter Wendelstedt. You have a couple of chips off the old block. You have Brian Runge, whose grandfather Ed was an umpire, whose father Paul was an umpire, and you have Hunter Wendelstedt, whose dad was a major league umpire. 0-2 the count to Starlin Castro. The strike 2 pitch is swung on and missed. That breaking ball down and dirty. 4 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw, but Alfonso Soriano hits 1 out, and we have a 1-1 tie. hits his 15th home run on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and we have a 1-1 tie, bottom of the second inning. It'll be Xavier Paul, Russell Martin, and then Blake DeWitt. And Paul takes high, ball one, 1-0. Hitting .254 with 8 runs batted in. Randy Wells ready and comes back and works a fastball low. 2 balls and no strikes. Paul has done well here at Dodger Stadium. He's hit .310 at home. 2-0 pitch now, swung on, pulled foul in front of Mariano Duncan and down the line. 2-1 the count. Tomorrow night, Ted Lilly, who once upon a time was in the Dodger organization, he'll go against Chad Billingsley. Saturday, Tom Gorsolani and John Eli. Sunday, Carlos Silva and Vicente Padilla. The next one in for a strike, and the count runs to 2-2. That final game on Sunday should be a good one. Silva is 9-2, and Padilla pitching very well. Wells ready, and his 2-2 pitch. Paul pokes it foul off to the left out of play. The Chicago Cub offense has not really been heard from, and it's reflected in the fact that the Cubs have been shut out 6 times. They have lost 19 one-run games, and they've lost 18 where they've scored 3 runs or less. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and down goes Paul. So 1 out, second inning, and the batter Russell Martin. So Paul going after a breaking ball down and in, a hard slider. And in the 1-1 tie, Randy Wells going to work now on Martin. Russell Martin 1 for 5 against Randy Wells in the past. And the right-hander's first pitch grounded to short. Castro is up with it and takes care of it. So we have 2 down here in the second inning. And the batter will be Blake DeWitt. You know, Saturday you can take photos of your favorite Dodgers on the field before the game. Field Photo Day presented by Staples begins at 11:10, followed by the Dodgers and Cubs. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. 2 down, second inning, and here's Blake DeWitt. One thing the Dodgers have done very, very well is play well against the National League. They are 42-27 against the National League, and they are particularly effective against the Central Division. They're not only 14-10 against the Central, they've won 9 out of 12 against the Central Division here, including 6 straight. Well, they're 1-1 in the second inning tonight. DeWitt fouls it off. 1-2 the count. One thing that really slowed up the Dodgers this year, they had the second toughest interleague schedule in baseball. The opponent's winning percentage .567. Second to the Diamondbacks, .569. The Padres had the 4th easiest schedule as Blake DeWitt fouls another one away. The opponent's winning percentage in the American League facing the San Diego Padres was only .445. No excuse, it's just the way the schedule worked out. But now that that's gone, the Dodgers have a better record by a couple of games than San Diego against the National League. Meanwhile, DeWitt strikes out. Wells picks up 2, and at the end of 2, a 1-1 tie. Girls in Dodger pink. They're probably about 3 years old, and they're having a fun time holding teddy bears, action figures, and nibbling away on popcorn. Faces in the crowd at Dodger Stadium as we go to the third. Randy Wells, the pitcher, hitting 167, will start it off, and Kershaw very high with a fastball, ball one. For the Cubs, they have struck out 615 times so far this year. Wells looks at a strike, and they only walked 268. What it boils down to the fact that not one Cub hitter has more walks than strikeouts. The 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. When you look at the Dodgers, not as many strikeouts, a little more walks, but there isn't a Dodger with more walks than strikeouts. 1-2 the count. Kershaw ready. Clayton delivers, swung on and missed, and down goes Randy Wells. 3 strikeouts in a row for Kershaw. Nady and Castro to end the second, Wells to begin the third. So Clayton now has 5 strikeouts in 2 1/3 innings. His high in his career, last year he struck out 13 Giants. This year he's had 9 a couple of times. And now the leadoff man, Ryan Theriot, and he sprays it foul off to the right, deep in the lower deck. 0-1 the count to the musically named second baseman. The pride of LSU, Ryan Theriot. Now the strike one pitch on the way. Ryan backs off. It's at his feet. Signed by the Cubs in 2001. At shortstop, LSU won the NCAA National Championship with Ryan, and now he singles to right field. So Theriot now has a little 6-game hitting streak with a 1-out single to right, and the batter will be Marlon Byrd. Ryan Theriot, standing over at first base, is the #1 base stealer for the Cubs. He has stolen 16 out of 19. So we'll see about Kershaw's move to first as Byrd comes up. Marlon came into this game in a career batting average of .353 against the Dodgers. So he's trouble. Singled up the middle. A great smothering stop by Blake DeWitt, but couldn't get him. So Marlon Byrd waiting. Out of his stretch goes Kershaw, and the first pitch in the dirt. Theriot starts to go to second and then goes back. 1 ball and no strikes. Good block by Russell Martin. With that 12-6 curveball of Kershaw, almost as if he's going to bounce it right down on top of home plate. Marlon Byrd, born in Florida, lives up in La Jolla. He was originally selected by the Phillies. Kershaw has Theriot picked off. Loney throws to Furcal, who tags him out. That, of course, is rule caught stealing. So he has stolen 16 out of 20, but he is erased. So a good move by Kershaw. 1-3-6 if you're scoring. 2 down. And Byrd up there with a 1 ball, no strike count. Theriot committed too early and had nowhere to go. And Furcal just had the ball waiting for his arrival. Now the 1-0 pitch to Marlon Byrd. That's high. Ball 2, 2-0. Marlon, born in Florida, but he grew up in Atlanta. And one of the family's friend, Hank Aaron. But Byrd idolized Dale Murphy of the Braves. He takes the strike. 2-1 the count. He originally attended Georgia Tech on a football scholarship. And then, as we told you, had the leg injury, the infection, and almost lost the leg. He fouls it away. He had a hard cast on the leg for over 6 weeks. And the problem was he couldn't move around. So what happened? He gained weight to a degree where he ballooned to 315 pounds. He's 235 now. Bird swings, hits a fly ball to right. Ethier hustling to the line. Can't make it. It's going to drop. Rounding first is Bird. The throw to Loney. Back to Furcall. Back to Loney, who tags him out. Good play by Andre Ethier to get it to Loney, and eventually Bird is erased. He does get a single, and the Cubs run out of the third, and it's 1-1. Ontario is picked off, and Bird gets a single and is caught between first and second. So in the bottom of the third inning in a 1-1 tie, Clayton Kershaw takes a strike. 0-1. Wells ready and comes back, works it away. 1-1. Randy Wells was not always a pitcher, not by any means. He was actually a catcher in Class A ball in 2003. He was drafted as a catcher. The 1-1 pitch fouled away. Randy never pitched in high school or college. And as Randy said, I was 5'9" in high school. Well, he's now 6'5". His senior year was the first year that he was a catcher, and yet he was drafted. Kershaw chases one in the dirt. Down he goes. Third strikeout. Marlon Bird getting a fly ball single to right field, thinking two, rounded first, and Andre Ethier nailed him by throwing behind him to Loney, and in the rundown, Loney finally tagged him out. So 2 base hits in the third inning, and both Theriot and Bird cut down on the base paths. So we have one away here in the third inning. Wells has struck out 3, Kershaw has struck out 5, and here's Furcall taking a strike. Raphael blistered one into the gap in right center for a double and came around to score, hitting .440 for the last 2 weeks. The strike one pitch, and that's low. 1-1 the count. Raphael waiting. The next pitch is low. 2-1 the count. Furcall coming into the game was just 1 for 6 against Randy Wells. So now he's 2 for 7. And the 2-1 pitch taken for a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Dodgers have won 5 of the last 7 here at Dodger Stadium against Chicago. Hard ground ball off the glove of a diving Ryan Theriot, and it'll be a base hit for Raphael Furcall. So for call, 2 for 2, and the batter will be Matt Kemp. Great effort by Theriot to get his glove on it, but then as he hit the ground, the ball spilled out of the glove, rolled onto the grass, and took him right out of the play. So Theriot, who was picked off in the third inning following a base hit, so near and yet so far, trying to take a hit away from Furcal. And now Matt Kemp, who walked in the first inning, 3 for 7 against Wells, throw to first, and Raphael jumps back on the bag. For Furcal, he's stolen 13 out of 16. Raphael held on by Derek Lee. We have a 1-1 tie in the third inning. Kemp backs off and the pitch low. Dodgers had Furcal double and score on a 2-out single by Loney. And then Alfonso Soriano, with 1 out in the second inning, hit the back wall of the Dodger bullpen to tie it up. 1-0 the count, and Kemp backs out, so time for the moment. 1 run, 4 hits for the Cubs. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. And we're in the third inning. Randy Wells, the ex-catcher, on the hill with a record of 4-6. Throw to first, for call back on the bag. Wells coming off a great effort, as we mentioned last time out, against Cincinnati. He had a no-hitter into the 7th inning, wound up giving up 1 run and 5 hits. Furcal bluffs, Kemp swings, doesn't get it. 1-1 the count to Matt. Kemp with 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in. Randy Wells still at the belt. Watching for call. Comes back to Kemp. Swung on and missed. 1-2. 1 out. Third inning in a 1-1 tie. Padres beat the Nationals 7-1. The Rockies beat the Cardinals again. So they swept 3. And the Giants beat the Brewers. They swept 4. So the National League West settling in now. The Padres still atop the heap. The Rockies stay 3 back. The Dodgers trying to remain 3 back. And the Giants are 5 back. 1-2 the count to Matt Kemp. Wells ready. Furcal bluffs, and there's a slicing foul ball off to the right, back into the crowd. 1-2 the count. Don't forget tomorrow night, Ted Lilly and Chad Billingsley. Then Saturday, a 1:10 game, Tom Gorzolani and John Eli. And then Sunday, a 5 o'clock game, and that will be Vicente Padilla against Carlos Silva. 1-2 to Matt Kemp. We have a 1-1 tie in the third. Well set, ready, comes back to the hitter. Hard foul ground ball outside of third. Still 1-2. Larry Boa over to retrieve. And Kemp waiting. So Matt still up there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kemp during the homestand, 3 for 13. Matt waiting. Wells making him wait. Now Randy is ready. There goes for call. It's missed at the plate. Throw down. He's in there standing up. Wow. I think Furcal is mad at himself for going in standing up, and the Cubs still missed him. Hit and run play. Kemp struck out. Good throw. And Furcal is shocked. I mean, how many times is he going to steal second standing up? Raphael muttering to himself when he looked back to realize Kemp had struck out. But he got away with it. So he's now stolen 14 out of 17. And here is Andre Ethier trying to pick him up. Ethier has been a one-man force, especially against the Central Division. He takes a strike. Andre hitting .400 against the Central Division. He's hitting .320 for the year. He hit a sharp ground ball that was turned into a double play by Derek Lee. The next pitch is lifted to left field. Soriano looking up into that gray wool sky to make the catch, and that's it. No runs, a single, a stolen base, and a man left. And at the end of 3, a 1-1 tie. To Aramis Ramirez. Then he picked off Xavier Nady. For good measure, Castro went fishing, and then a high fastball took care of the pitcher, Randy Wells. 5 strikeouts for Clayton, and he'll face Lee, Ramirez, and Soto. And if anybody gets on, Alfonso Soriano. Derek Lee, a batting champion, but I'm sure every time he plays the Dodgers, he thinks of an accident at first base involving himself and Rafael Furcal. About 4 years ago, Furcal bunted. The pitcher threw high to first. Lee, who is 6'5", collided with Furcal, and Lee got the worst of it. He wound up with a broken right wrist. Derek, originally drafted by the Padres, first round pick out of El Camino High School. He's from Sacramento and still lives there. 2-0 pitch on the way to Derek. Swung on, and a high fly ball that's playable. Kemp coming over it along with the left fielder Paul, and it's Paul for the catch. So 1 away.
Number 16, Aramis Ramirez.
Derek Lee, by the way, living in Sacramento, but I think he's changing his home because he's become a member of the Sherwood Country Club. Pretty good golfer and a fine all-around athlete. Of course, he's got great athletic genes. His dad, a first-round pick by the Cardinals. That's going to be a flare over the head of Loney and drop for a base hit. And Ramirez on his way for 2. Loney's throw not in time. So Ramirez, a little flare double to right. He'll take it. Ramirez struggling at the plate. Little pop fly. Loney could not get it. It landed a foot or 2 inside the foul line. By the time Loney picked it up, Ramirez was into second base. So Giovanni Soto coming up with a tiebreaker at second, 1 out, and a 1-1 tie. Kershaw will look back at second, and here we go. Strike. Oh, and 1 the count. and banged into left center. Base hit. So Ramirez will score. Nice pick by Matt Kemp to hold that to a single. And the Cubs take a 2-1 lead. So 2-1 in favor of the Cubs. In the second inning, they were trailing 1-0 when Alfonso Soriano got a knee-high 90-mile-an-hour fastball and hit the back wall of the Dodger bullpen. Kind of cool and damp tonight. When he hit that thing, had it been a warm, let's say Sunday afternoon, it might have been another Matt Holliday home run to clear the back wall. Curveball this time for a strike. 0-1. Soriano with all kinds of credits. He's a headline player. There's no doubt about that. Fouled away. You may remember in his first year with the Yankees, that's back in 2001, he had a walk-off home run in Game 4 against Seattle in the ALCS. The skipper of Seattle, his manager now, Lou Piniella. And it was the first postseason game-ending home run ever to be hit by a rookie. 0-2. 1-2. Then in 2002, Soriano had 51 doubles. Imagine, the most ever by a Yankee right-hand hitter in a single season. Another headline. 1-2 to Alfonso, 32 years old. In 2003, he joined Willie Mays and Barry Bonds, the only three major leaguers to record consecutive seasons with at least 35 home runs, 35 stolen bases. Another headline. In 2006, when he was with Washington, he had 22 outfield assists, leading the National League, making him the first ever to have 20 assists, 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. Unbelievable. Alfonso Soriano. 2-2. Hard ground ball to DeWitt. He bobbles, feeds for call to get the force play. That thing was really hit. Got him right in the chest, too. That's the thing about second base. You have that one luxury, and especially with a runner at first. That thing is coming hard, hits him right in the chest, but he still has the presence of mind to get the force play for call. So 2 out, and Xavier Nady, or Nady, coming up. 2-1 Cubs, 4th inning. Ball 1. Xavier was a second-round pick by the Padres out of the University of California, Berkeley. Fastball for a strike. His father played baseball at Boston College and the University of Colorado. He's a college football referee if he's not practicing law. One and one to Xavier Nady. Going after that slider. No one's hit it yet. 1-2 the count. Kershaw with 5 strikeouts, but he's trailing 2-1 here in the 4th. One ball and 2 strikes. Foul back, out of play. Nady, born in Carmel, lives in Salinas, and his dad is an attorney there. Salinas, known for producing lettuce the lettuce capital of the world. And with a name like Xavier, as you might imagine, everybody calls him X. 1-2. Just did get a little of that. Mady hitting .237. He has 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. His dad was known as X, so naturally he was Little X. They say his dad would drive 4 hours round trip twice a week so his son could play in a top traveling league in the East Bay. And see you later. Strike 3 call. Fastball following all those sliders. 6 strikeouts for Kershaw, but Cubs get a run and lead 2-1. C4dealers.com. 2-1 Cubs, bottom of the 4th inning. Loney, Blake, and Paul in that order, and a battle between Clayton Kershaw and Randy Wells. Game 1 of the 4-game series. Hard ground ball to Derek Lee. He'll wave his pitcher away. 1 down. There's so much talk, conjecture, arguing, whatever about the All-Star game coming up. One of the questions that you might have thought about: how often has a player been named the most valuable player during a season in which he wasn't included on his league's All-Star team? Well, the Dodgers know they have Andre Ethier and Jonathan Broxton. But how many times has a fellow wound up being an MVP and not been named to the All-Star team? Over the last 22 years, it's happened 6 times. Who are the men? Jimmy Rollins. He missed out, became the MVP in 2007. Jose Reyes of the Mets played for him. Castro takes care of that. 2 down. Back in 1999, Chipper Jones wound up being the MVP, but Matt Williams played in the All-Star game. In the American League, Juan Gonzalez of Texas was the MVP in 1996, but Brady Anderson of Baltimore played in the All-Star game. In 1991, Terry Pendleton was the MVP, but Chris Sabo of Cincinnati played for the Stars. 1989, Robin Yount was the MVP, but Kirby Puckett played for the All-Stars, and 1 to go. Kirk Gibson, the MVP in 1988, did not play in the All-Star game. Instead, Vince Coleman of the Cardinals. So if anybody wonders out there how many times an MVP that year failed to make the Stars, it's happened 6 times in the last 20-some-odd years. 2-1 Cubs, 4th inning, 2 out. Martin on deck. Dodgers got a run in the 1st inning. Loney singled home for a call, who had doubled. Alfonso Soriano homered in the 2nd to tie it up. And in the 4th inning, Ramirez doubled and scored on a base hit by Soto. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Cubs. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Ground ball up the middle. Theriot goes back to get it and takes care of Paul. So 3 ground balls. The inning goes quickly, and at the end of 4, Wells walks off, leading 2-1. Immediately thereafter, Marlon Byrd's fly ball dropped for a single. Then he took a big turn at first, and Ethier hung him out to dry by getting it to Loney, and in the ensuing rundown, Loney tagged him out. However, the Cubs are leading 2-1 in the 5th, and here is Starlin Castro for a strike. 0-1. I'll bet you they called him Darlin Starlin in his first big league game. He set a major league record for most RBIs in a first game. He had a half a dozen. Pretty good way to break in from Monte Cristi in the Dominican Republic. Home run in his first at bat. That's a strike. 1-1. For Castro, he's only 20. And strike 3 call. Inside corner, down he goes. Strikeout number 7 for Clayton Kershaw. Just zeroed in. Fastball got him. And the bat of Randy Wells, who struck out in the 3rd inning. To repeat, Kershaw's career high is 13, and he's had 9 3 times this year. Of course, he's averaging better than 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Fastball strike, 0-2. Wells, the former catcher, can probably swing the bat reasonably well. Check swing, down he goes. 8 strikeouts, 3 in a row. But the Cubs are still leading 2-1.
Ryan Theriot.
And the leadoff man, Ryan Theriot, coming up. Theriot struck out and singled to right. Theriot, when he left LSU and joined the Cubs, his teammate, who had been a teammate at LSU, is with the Cubs, Mike Fontenot. Two and 0 the count. Theriot's great uncle was a Pearl Harbor survivor. Passed away a couple of years ago. 2 and 0 to Ryan. Fouled away. Down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, there was a 2-year-old who was injured in a swimming pool accident. The boy hospitalized. Parents wanted to move him to Children's Hospital in New Orleans to begin his rehab, and Theriot helped get the money to get the boy transferred. Bunt up along third, foul. Theriot is connected to a charitable organization, the Heart of Champions Baseball Complex. They hosted a benefit. The youngster's name was Sam, so the benefit was Grand Slam for Sam. They had a silent auction of autographed items, etc. And the youngster got to the major hospital, Children's Hospital in New Orleans. The name is Theriot. 2 and 2 to Ryan. Curveball lifted to left. Paul going back and makes the catch. So down go the Cubs, and at the end of 4.5, 2-1 Chicago. Out 8, but he is losing 2-1, and ball 1 to Russell Martin. Interesting thing about the way Randy Wells is pitching, pretty much of a sinker ball pitcher, and drops that in there. 1-1. Randy, 7 ground balls. The only ball hit in the air, Andre Ethier hit a fly ball to left field in the 3rd inning. Everything else on the ground. Martin, I think, is a little bit annoyed on the call, and I think at time he's saying instead it was not granted, and so no wonder Russell is a little ticked off. Ball 2. probably Ryan Runge just never saw the request, because always when the hitter, for safety reasons, when he requests time, they always get it. 2-1. Ball 3. Randy Wells has allowed 1 run, 3 hits. He has struck out 4, and he has walked 1. Whoops. 3-2 the count. Martin hitting .245. He has 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in, grounded to short in the 2nd inning. Looked like a slider, down and away. Might have been ball 4. So that's an unhappy at bat. You request time, you don't get it. The pitch is called a strike, and then you strike out. Well, time to think about an answer. The question is, which ex-Dodger pitcher holds the record for most career strikeouts in the All-Star game? Meanwhile, ball 1 to Blake DeWitt. Two to 1 Cubs, bottom of the 5th. That's a strike. 1-1. So Randy Wells, the ex-catcher, he hit .157 as a catcher and became a pitcher. One thing about Wells, when he was in school, they always called him a bulldog. Breaking ball missed. So what he decided to do, since they're all calling me a bulldog, he has a tattoo of a bulldog high up on the right arm. Time. Take a close-up of Randy Wells, as we just did a moment ago. Hard ground ball, nice big hop. Derek Lee fires to Wells covering. 2 down. The reason we're talking about taking a close-up of Randy Wells, when he went to spring training last year, he took a routine eye exam and was told he needed glasses. Well, he's not wearing glasses, so we assume he has switched to contacts. Two down, 5th inning, and Clayton Kershaw at the plate. So we've had 13 strikeouts so far. Kershaw has 8. Wells has 5. That's a strike. Good fastball. 0-1. And 2. Left-handers last year did well against Wells. They hit .310, but he shut right-handers down to .220. 1-2 to Clayton Kershaw. Clayton hitting .067. Means he has 2 hits. Fouled away down the line. Kershaw has excelled in sacrifice bunts. He has 9 to lead the club. 1-2. Slapped foul. That was a changeup, so he was able to get the bat on it. Somebody figures in the Cub organization that Kershaw must be a pretty good hitter, in the sense, the old story, you never change up on a pitcher unless he's a hitter. 2-2. Kershaw for sure is a contact hitter. He's only struck out 20% of the time. 2-2. So he's hacking foul, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. basically with Wells, fastball, slider, and a changeup. And when Wells was converted to becoming a pitcher, he patterned his delivery after Chris Carpenter. And a hop at the third, knocked down by Ramirez, and he won't be able to make the play. So Kershaw continues to make contact, and Ramirez, trying to backhand that ball, commits an error. That would be his 9th error this year. So he made that a tougher play than it was, and it hit the heel of the glove. So if nothing else, the Dodgers get the pitcher out of the way, and Rafael Furcal coming up for Clayton Kershaw, fouling him here, fouling him there. That was an 8-pitch at bat. These two teams, the Cubs and the Dodgers, play fast and loose with the baseball. The Dodgers have committed 61 errors, and the Cubs have committed 65. That's a lot. If you don't think so, compare it, and Lou Piniella would do that. Compare it to the Padres, who have made only 32 errors, or the Reds, who have made only 34. No secret that they're leading their divisions. That's a strike. So naturally, the home runs get the headlines, the walk-off base hits, and the masterful pitching. But day in and day out, it's the leather. A little foul ball. That was a change, and Furcal able to reach out and jerk it foul. Cubs lead 2-1. 2 runs, 6 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits. One and 2 to Rafael Furcal. And did that hit him? I believe so. Yep. So Furcal with a double and a single, now hit by the pitch. And that 2-out error by Ramirez gets a little bigger because it gives Matt Kemp a chance to come up. Pitch sailed inside, and it looked like it got Furcal inside the left elbow. Right in there. He's tough. For Furcal, that's the first time he's been hit by a pitch this year. Here's Matt Kemp, walked and struck out. So the Dodgers got a big break on the 2-out error by Ramirez. They trail 2-1. Ball 1. Remember, we told you that Randy Wells struggles with men on base. There's a lot of trouble. Apparently, he loses a lot when he has to pitch out of a stretch. Opposition hitting .331 against him with people on base. There's ball 2. Two and 0 the count to Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp 0 for 1 today. 3 for 8 against Wells. Two and 0. Fastball and a high fly ball to deep right center. On the track, running parallel to the wall and making the catch is Marlon Byrd. Oh, what a play by the Cubs center fielder. No runs, no hits, an error, 2 left, and at the end of 5, 2-1 Cubs. Harvey, Lopes, and Russell, Reggie Smith, Bob Welch, and Jerry Royce, who turned out to be the winning pitcher. In that game, Ken Griffey hit a home run, and the National League won it 4-2. 30 years ago today, the question is, when will the next one come up? An all-star game at Dodger Stadium. We'll find out. Let's go back to this one. Two to one in favor of the Cubs, thanks to that dazzling running catch by Marlon Byrd in center field. And here he is at the plate. You know, that's one of the oldest expressions you always hear. The guy who makes the great play always leads off the next inning, and it does seem to happen quite a bit. Ball one to Marlon. Singled up the middle. It was smothered by DeWitt, but that couldn't stop him. And he had that fly ball single to right. He's now hitting .371 in his career against the Dodgers. And of course, for Marlon Byrd, his career means you go back to Philadelphia. In fact, he played under Larry Bowa when Bowa was the manager. Fouled away. Marlon was a 10th round pick in 1999. Bowa was the manager in 03, which was Marlon's second year. Biggest year with the bat last year with the Rangers. He had 20 home runs, 89 runs batted in. Hard ground ball under the glove of Percal. So Marlon, who always wears out the Dodgers, just goes 3 for 3 tonight.
How about it? First baseman.
Well, remember the trivia question about the ex-Dodger, the pitcher who holds the record for most career strikeouts in the All-Star game? Did you guess Don Drysdale? 19 strikeouts, 19 1/3 innings pitched. Don started 6 All-Star games, including one here, but not Dodger Stadium, the Coliseum. A drive to right center field on his horse is Ethier to run it down. And back to first base goes Marlon Byrd. So Derek Lee robbed of an extra base hit by Andre Ethier.
Third baseman, Aramis Ramirez.
Wonderful play by Andre. Byrd back to first and Lee back to the dugout. The batter now, Aramis Ramirez, who struck out, doubled, scored a run, and committed the error. Little foul behind the plate, out of play. Ramirez has become a big puzzle in Chicago. They don't understand it. I mean, he's 32 years old. He put up huge numbers. Last year he hit .317, and he's hitting .192. The one who is most puzzled is Ramirez. First came up to the Pirates. 0-1. That's a strike. 0-2. When they called Ramirez up to Pittsburgh in May of '98, he was 19 years old. He became the youngest Pirate and the first teenager to be called up to the big club in about 25 years. Time. Now, remember, Martin requested time and didn't get it. I can only assume, the way things looked, that it was Martin who asked for time. Byrd has stolen 4 out of 5. Big ground ball to Casey Blake. They get 1. They will turn it for 2. And the mystery that is Aramis Ramirez continues. No runs, a hit, the big play in right field by Andre Ethier. It's 2-1 Cubs. Alfonso Soriano got a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, a little bit above the knees, right out over the plate, and he knew exactly what to do with it. Freeze cam shows he hit it to the back wall of the bullpen for his 15th home run of the year. 2-1 Chicago, bottom of the 6th inning. Andre Ethier, James Loney, and Casey Blake. Soriano has not had much activity out there in left field. There have only been 2 fly balls. That's a strike. Ethier hit a fly ball to Soriano, and then Kemp hit that ball into deepest right center, and Marlon Byrd made a wonderful catch. That's a strike. 0-2. Randy Wells. Got him. Change down and away. A perfect major league changeup. Doesn't get any better than that pitch.
Number 7.
That was not the breaking ball. That was a straight change that just died. 6 strikeouts for Randy Wells. And now Loney, who knocked in the only Dodger run in the first inning. James singled to right to cash in for Call and grounded to Derek Lee in the 4th inning. Strike. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Cubs, 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. And remember, we told you about Randy Wells. He has pitched twice against the Dodgers. He has lost each time by the score of 2-1. And one of his losses, he did not allow any runs and still lost. 1-1. Bounce that thing. 2-1 the count. Of course, basically these 2 teams, the last 7 games, runs have been on the scarce side. The last 7, the Cubs are averaging just under 2 runs. Ground ball to the hole. Derek Lee, I think, ran away from that. That is one of those plays that a first baseman has to make a split decision. Do I go wide and get it, or do I go to the bag? He opted to go to the bag, and I think he has a play. And now watch him. Darn it. Yep, that was his play. I always remember 1,000 years ago talking to first basemen in the big leagues, and they all agreed that's about as tough a call you have. Do I go after it, or do I go to the bag? So Loney says thank you. He'll come up with his 2nd hit, and the batter is Casey Blake, and the Dodgers on their 4th hit have the tying run aboard. Dodgers got a big break in the 5th inning when Kershaw reached on a 2-out error by Ramirez, and Furcal was hit by a pitch. And that's when Matt Kemp hit one to deepest right center, and on the dead run, running parallel on the track to the wall, Marlon Byrd made the catch. That was a dandy. 1-1 to Casey. He's hitting .256, 9 home runs, 34 runs batted in, 2 ground balls to shortstop. Taking a long look at Larry Boa. Loney going, and the pitch fouled away. That was the result of that long look. They put a hit and run play on. Loney, by the way, has stolen 9 bases. And again, Casey Blake, along with Loney, checking with Boa. Two to 1 Cubs. Bottom of the 6th, 1 out. One and 2 the count. We talked about runs being scarce. The Cubs are averaging just under 2 runs a game here against the Dodgers in the last 7. The Dodgers are averaging 3 runs a game against Pinella's club. And the huge difference why the Dodgers have won 5 of the last 7 with the Cubs here, the bullpen. The Cubs bullpen earned run average 3.5. The Dodger bullpen against the Cubs in those 7 games, 0-0-0. 1 and 2. 2 and 2. Padres won. Colorado won. Giants won. Two and 2. Got it. The Casey Blake goes down, 7 strikeouts for Randy Wells. You know, tomorrow at 7:10, Dodgers and Cubs, and the first 20,000 fans take home a limited edition Young Guns poster featuring the Dodger pitching staff, presented by MSI Computers. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. Clayton Kershaw with 8 strikeouts, but his opposition, Randy Wells, has 7. And here's Xavier Paul, ball 1. So 15 strikeouts with 2 out in the 6th inning. Line drive right at Starlin Castro. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. We have 6 in the books. 2-1 Chicago. Up, which is another reason it's a Hyundai key to the game. Brilliant pitching on both sides. Wells with 7 strikeouts, Kershaw with 8, only 1 walk. That was Wells, and he gave it in the first inning to Matt Kemp. So it's 2-1 Cubs, and we go to the 7th. Soto, Soriano, and Nady. Curveball, strike. 0-1. Soto grounded to second, single to center to drive in the run, and that's the difference in the game. He followed the double by Ramirez with a base hit. Check swing foul. Giovanni Soto has the award as a Rookie of the Year, and then right back of him, Alfonso Soriano. Fastball fouled out of here. For Giovanni Soto, hitting .278, and Soriano hitting behind him, hitting .275. Two and two. Down he goes. 9 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw. Say, friends, take advantage of a winning combination on your way to the stadium. Go Metro to Union Station. Connect with the Dodger Stadium Express. Your ticket to the game grants you a free ride starting 90 minutes before every game. And for more information, visit Dodgers.com/express. Well, Alfonso Soriano got the express. That's what the old timers used to call a fastball. And he hit it to the back wall of the Dodger bullpen in the second inning. Hit into a force play in the 4th, and Kershaw starts him with the breaking ball. 0-1. 0-2. Soriano felt like he was locked in Japan. He wanted to get paid a certain amount of money, and the Hiroshima Carp did not want to pay him the money he wanted. And then Hideo Nomo was able to retire and then go international. That swung on and missed, but the breaking ball in the dirt, and Soriano is going to reach. So strikeout, wild pitch. It is the 10th strikeout for Clayton Kershaw. Earlier this year, he had a strikeout pass ball, but there was no doubt about that thing being wild. The inning where he had strikeout pass ball was the first inning of a game with Atlanta. Now strikeout wild pitch. For Kershaw, he now has 4 wild pitches. Soriano over there at first base is 4 for 4 in stolen bases. Xavier Nady hitting .235. So we'll see if Piniella puts a play on with this combination. Ball 1. Remember earlier back in the 3rd inning, Kershaw picked off Ryan Theriot. One ball, no strikes. 2-1 Cubs, 7th inning. Fastball, BP all over it for call for 1. Fouls in at first. So 6-3 double play. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We're heading for the bottom of the 7th, but first, God bless America and take me out to the ball game.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We ask that you please rise and join in the singing of God Bless America. Accompanied by Nancy B., please welcome back to the field Joel James.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Go to the bottom of the seventh inning. Tyler Colvin takes over in right field for Xavier Nady. And Randy Wells going to work against Russell Martin, Blake DeWitt, and we will see about Clayton Kershaw. Line drive by the diving Castro, backed up by Bird. So Martin, a line drive single, and the tying run is aboard. For the Dodgers, they have only gotten one other leadoff man on tonight. That was Rafael Furcal, who opened up the first inning with a double. Now Martin leads off with a single, and you have DeWitt and Clayton Kershaw in the on-deck circle. DeWitt has struck out and grounded out. Jeff Weaver is up in the Dodger bullpen. Blake DeWitt, if you're thinking about bunt, has 2 sacrifices. Martin, of course, at first base, can also be a threat to run. He has stolen 6 out of 8. So Ramirez plays in on the grass looking bunt. DeWitt swinging and lines it right at Marlon Byrd. He hit that thing right on the screws. One away. So now Kershaw, that we mentioned earlier, does a wonderful job sacrificing. He has 9 sacrifices. So the question now is, will you give up an out so that Rafael Furcal has a chance to drive in Martin and tie it up? It would seem to make sense. Ramirez is well in on the grass at third, and Derek Lee is ready to charge the plate. Furcal waits, and Kershaw checks in. Showing bunt, trying to get his 10th bunt down. That's ball 1. Cubs 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Dodgers 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. One is down, and the play is to first. So Kershaw gets the bunt down. That's his 10th sacrifice. The tying run is at second with Martin, and Rafael Furcal coming up. Furcal has 33 runs batted in. Rafael hitting left-handed. He was hitting .337 at the start of the game, batting left-handed, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. He has doubled, scored the run, and singled. So a big at-bat for Rafael. And hammered to right, down the line, and gone! Home run! And the Dodgers lead 3-2. For the last 2 weeks, Rafael Furcal has been in a zone. He has been unbelievable. A line drive, maybe 5 feet fair inside the right field pole. His 6th home run of the year. In the last 2 weeks, he has absolutely exploded. And he has turned it around, and the Dodgers lead 3-2. A 2-out, 2-run home run. Kemp, a fly ball to deep right. Colvin going back at the wall to make the catch. But it comes 1 out too late as far as Wells is concerned. The Rafael, a one-man gang, a team photo. And it's 3-2 Dodgers. at your Toyota dealer today. And by Jack Daniels. Thanks to Rafael Furcal, who is 3 for 3 with a hit batter, 2 RBIs, a single, double, and home run. The Dodgers lead 3-2. Ball 1 to Starlin Castro, who has struck out twice against Kershaw. Then Jeff Baker will come out and bat for Wells. 2-0. Dodgers, of course, this late in the game, watching Kershaw. He has struck out 10. That's in there. Interesting, prior to Furcal's home run, Randy Wells had allowed only 2 fly balls. And immediately after the home run, he allowed the 3rd fly ball. So he did a magnificent job until Furcal. 3-1. Ground ball to Casey Blake. And away. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Hong-Chi Kuo and Jonathan Broxton. Jeff Baker, and you certainly may remember Jeff. He had quite a career with the Rockies, went to Clemson University, and came over to the Cubs last year. He was born in Bad Kissingen, West Germany. Growing up, he lived in 9 different cities. His dad, Larry, was assigned by the U.S. Army to install missile defense systems in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. Soccer was big in the desert. Baseball wasn't. So as a little guy, he got together with 2 other families, and they smarted a little T-ball league. 0-2 the count to Jeff Baker. Jeff 29. In the dirt. 1-2 the count. Jeff said moving around to 9 different cities, sports got him through it. Soccer, T-ball, and then we got a little bit older, finally baseball. You ask him where home is, he says Woodbridge, Virginia. And down he goes. So for Clayton Kershaw, he now has struck out 11. With 11 strikeouts, he's getting very close to the 13, which he turned in last April against the Giants as a career high. 2 out, 8th inning, and Ryan Theriot at the plate. Fastball strike. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 7 hits for the Cubs. Theriot is 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd inning and was picked off. Another strike. Kershaw with 11 strikeouts has not walked anybody. He did commit a wild pitch, and he's right up to 96 pitches. I mean, sometimes major league hitters look absolutely overmatched. Theriot that time became strikeout number 12, and we're bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Dodgers. scoring right away in the first inning. Rafael Furcal leading off, doubled, and reached third with 2 out, and Loney single scored him. And then Rafael, the line drive just inside the foul pole. A 2-run home run, and turn it around to give the Dodgers the 3-2 lead. Interesting, the 2 home runs tonight, one by Alfonso Soriano in the second, and the home run by Furcal in the seventh. Each man hit the first pitch. James Russell out of Cincinnati, Ohio, lives in Colleyville, Texas. Cubs signed him out of the University of Texas. A little nubber back to the box, and that'll do it for Ethier. 1 away. Well, what do you do with Clayton Kershaw? He made 97 pitches tonight. He has struck out 12. He has had 1 3-ball count. He has not walked anybody. 8 times he has had a no-ball 2-strike count on the hitters. Do you let him go out there, or do you go to the pen? Well, he's well bundled up, and Joe will make that decision. He's got Broxton alone now in the bullpen. Ball 1 to Loney. Single to right to drive in a run. Grounded to first. Single to right in the 6th inning. The game's 2 for 3. Dodgers have 6 hits. Furcal has 3. Loney has 2. Martin has 1. You remember Jeff Russell? He was a Major League All-Star closer. Well, James is his son, originally drafted by the Mariners, then took the Cubs offer. They drafted him in 2007. Fouled away out of play. Basically fastball, curveball, and changeup. And at 6'4", he has Major League height. Two and one. One thing he does, he reminded me just then of a left-handed Brad Penny. On that delivery, he wasn't looking at home plate. Remember how Penny always looked over towards third? Watch his head. See that? And he gets Loney. Strike 3 call. Strikeout number 1 for Russell. Watch Brian Runge punch him out. I mean, wham. So 8 Dodgers have struck out tonight, 12 Cubs, and we've had 20 strikeouts. And the batter is Casey Blake. Casey 0 for 3, struck out once. Looking at the Dodger lineup, Rafael Furcal did not strike out, and he's the only one in the lineup. Furcal having another big night, hit by a pitch, single stole a base, double scored a run, and hits a 2-run home run. That's a strike. 2-1. When the Cubs come up in the 9th inning, Marlon Byrd, Derek Lee, Aramis Ramirez. Ball 3. So it'll be the heart of the Cub lineup. And from the looks of things, it'll be Jonathan Broxton going head to head. Derek Lee 0 for 3. He'll be the middleman. High fly ball into right center. Marlon Byrd right there. Pick it off. All right, Dodgers go 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. We're heading for the 9th. Dodgers 3. up a double to Ramirez and a single to Soto for the second run. Otherwise, he was in great control of things. His career high, 13 strikeouts last year against the Giants. This would be his high this year as he strikes out 12. So for Kershaw, he winds up with 128 strikeouts and only 50 walks so far this year. Here he is, surrendering the ball to Jonathan Broxton. And Bird, Lee, and Ramirez lined up. So let's see what Broxton has done. And we'll start with Bird, who is 0 for 2. Strike. The Dodgers make 3 changes besides Broxton. Jamie Carroll is at second base, and Reed Johnson is in left field. 0-1. And another strike. If you are keeping score of this game, Johnson would go into Paul's spot. Carroll would go in DeWitt's spot. And Broxton would bat 9th. Oh, and 2. Check swing. Yes. Hunter Wendelstedt rings him up. And Marlon Byrd is unbelievable, he says. Alan Trammell standing alongside of Lou Piniella. That is the 13th Cub to strike out tonight. And Bird's going to get the news late. And Marlon is not going to be happy at all. And now, because he apparently was visibly upset, he's being kicked out of the game by Hunter Wendelstedt. Lou Piniella now trying to get between Bird and Hunter Wendelstedt. And now Piniella can put on a show. I mean, Bird didn't do much, but watch out for Lou. Jerry Lane is telling Bird, be smart, stay away, let the manager do the hollering. Lou isn't finished yet. Lou with his hands in his hip pockets, that's restraining for him. When he starts gesturing with his hands, look out. So Marlon Byrd becomes strikeout number 13. Here's Byrd muttering, no way, no blanking way. What? Me? What's amazing is normally you have to really make a gesture to incite the crowd. What do you want me to do, says Hunter. When Bird pointed to himself, that did it. So here's Derek Lee. And ball 1. How about Lee against Jonathan Broxton? Derek Lee is 3 for 9. One ball and no strikes. Derek 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in. That's a strike. Crowd really into it. It's been a heck of a game. Paid attendance tonight, 43,640. One and one. Well, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2 the count to Derek Lee. Derek Lee last year struck out 111 times. That's his career high. Foul back. Derek Lee this year has struck out 79 times. When Lee won the batting title, it was back in 2005. He hit .335 that year. And a slicing fly ball to right. Efield going back, still on the grass, makes the catch on the track. 2 out in the ninth. Jonathan Broxton trying to come up with his 19th save, and standing in the way, Aramis Ramirez struck out, doubled, scored a run, grounded into a double play, and committed an error. Strike. Ramirez could pose a problem. He is hitting 4 for 5 in the past against Broxton. 4 for 5 get your attention. Well, that wasn't close, but he chased the slider. So, for young Randy Wells, he pitched a terrific game, but he couldn't get Rafael Furcal out. 0-2, everybody up. Line drive, base hit. So Ramirez, 5 for 6, going head-to-head with Jonathan Broxton. Giovanni Soto is supposed to come up, but Kosuke Fukudome coming up. So Fukudome, an outfielder, will be announced. Fukudome hitting .261. He has 8 home runs, 26 runs batted in. As far as the role of Fukudome as a pinch hitter this year, he has 5 hits. Mike Fontenot is now running at first for Ramirez, representing the tying run. And a strike. Fukudome is from a small town in Japan, Kagoshima. It sits at the base of an active volcano. 0-1. Well, Dodger Stadium is like a volcano right now, ready to erupt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fukudome going up against Broxton is 1 for 3. So Fontenot at first and Fukudome at the plate. He's been with the Cubs since 2008. 1-1. And a fly ball to left field. Reed Johnson is there. And the Dodgers stay even. The Padres won, the Rockies won, the Giants won, and the Dodgers win. They have now won 6 of 8 against the Cubs at Dodger Stadium. Clayton Kershaw went 8. He has not pitched 9 yet in his young career. And on the final out, as Clayton now wins his 9th, he's quick to be out on the field to congratulate Jonathan Broxton, who made 14 pitches and came up with his 19th save. So the Cubs and the Dodgers, as usual, it figured to be low scoring, and it was. And it was Rafael Furcal who had the magnificent night. Doubled and scored a run. Singled and stole a base. Hit by a pitch, and then in the 7th inning, hit the first pitch by Randy Wells for his 6th home run with a man aboard, gave him 35 RBIs, and the Dodgers a 3-2 win.